7 cars you should never buy. Hello and welcome back to MIA Luxury Cars. For today's video, we will be going to talk about the 7 cars you should never buy. Let's get started. Number 1. Mitsubishi Mirage. The Mitsubishi Mirage is an incredibly affordable vehicle. These cost roughly $14,000 brand new. These are probably affordable for closer to $10,000 out of the door if you visit a dealership and argue with them. They are poorly built, they were cheaply engineered. They are also made to be inexpensively priced. The interior is just terrible. The engine is barely running. Driving it is essentially a chore because of how underpowered it is. The Mitsubishi Mirage may be the most affordable vehicle ever. For the $10,000 you would have spent on the new Mirage, it would be far wiser to purchase any old vehicle, despite the fact that the Mirage won't ever truly make you feel wealthy. Number 2. Mazda RX-8. Driving a Mazda RX-8 is an absolute joy. Additionally, because it is a rotary, it enjoys playing and dancing and it's redlined off 9,000 RPM. Therefore, listening to it while driving is just as enjoyable. But it also has a rotary engine, which is incredibly unreliable. When replacement RX-8 engines were released, Mazda actually had to construct an entirely new factory because they often didn't even cover 80,000 miles when they were brand new. If you don't want to be forced to continually spend thousands of dollars on brand new motors or get proficient at fixing Dorito Apex seals, keep as far away as possible from the seductive Mazda RX-8. Number 3. Late 70s muscle cars. Not bad. Muscular vehicles from 1970s. Actually, they are totally awesome. But there was a tiny thing called an oil crisis in the middle of the 1970s. Large gas-guzzling muscle cars and smaller, lighter vehicles like the Pinto were no longer popular in the general auto market, which at the time essentially destroyed the muscle car market. Imagine a Dodge Challenger from 1970s, a large, badass muscle automobile that was loud and proud. Look at the one from 1978. That automobile was awful. Number 4. Chrysler Sebring. The Chrysler Sebring is Michael Scott's preferred drop-top vehicle, and pretty much one word is all that needs to be said about this car. The ride and handling were particularly poor, along with the craftsmanship and design. Regardless of the Sebring flavor you purchased, the Chrysler Sebring was an unreliable and underpowered convertible, coupe and sedan. Actually, want to own a Sebring or be seen dead in the drop top. You'd basically have to be a clumsy idiot middle manager at a paper company. Chrysler ought to have rejected the Sebring's design the moment it was presented to it. However, since they built the vehicle, we regrettably have to dump it in a junkyard every time it breaks down. Number 5. Ford Pinto. These days, it's probably much simpler to avoid this car. However, you must be acutely aware of it. Sales of the Ford Pinto skyrocketed when it was first added to the roster of Ford vehicles. Ford identified a minor issue. The gas tank on the Pinto was the source of this issue. The gas tank ought to be placed far back in the middle. The gas tank ought to be placed far back in the vehicle to shield it from all the harm right now, and there wasn't really any protection for the gas tank from a rear-end collision. In other words, you get into a minor collision because someone behind you didn't press the brakes, and then you start to burn. If you come across a particularly cheap Ford Pinto for sale, you should be aware of what you're getting into. Number 6. Maserati Quattro Porte. You could purchase a Maserati for almost the same cost as that Mitsubishi Mirage. You'll come off as wealthy. Despite your tight budget to own the item though, you might still need to be wealthy because it's an expensive exotic car that is also unreliable, which means it costs as much as an exotic fancy expensive car and needs parts to be fixed. Keep in mind that the Maserati engine under the hood is in a Maserati. It's not quite possible to purchase an alternator for it by going to NAP Auto Parts. The cost of upkeep will be high, and to make matters worse, the pair chooses a rather awful semi-automatic transmission to go with that magnificent screaming Ferrari V8 engine. Driving in city traffic while it looks 4 gears is a complete misery. For about $15,000, a Ferrari V8 is concealed beneath a gorgeous exotic supercar body, and you'll enjoy the sound that Beats makes every time you press the gas on the freeway. However, take some time to analyze your reasons for purchasing one before making a decision. You might want to get a flex machine for general city errands. Just avoid using it every day and avoid traveling too far within the city because you'll always want to be close to your preferred mechanic. Since Quattro Porte, which is Italian for 4 times as unreliable, is very much a given. Number 7. Land Rover and Range Rover. Anything with electricity in it is not particularly well made by the British. Most of the time, you can tell while you're sitting in one that the person who constructed it or even put it together may have been inebriated, which is unfortunate due to the eternal nature of Land Rover designs. Being a person who has owned a Land Rover for almost 10 years, they are also among the worst depreciating vehicle on the road, aside from reliability. In terms of value lost in the first 5 years, any Land Rover will top the charts. So if you're buying them used, that's excellent for you. Once more, the Land Rover finding. These are some of the most alluring cars ever offered on the used market. They cost around $3,000 to purchase. They are more luxury than an Audi and more capable than a Jeep. They're amazing, gorgeous, and untrustworthy. In addition to being all three, if you're out there and your bank account isn't too deep, simply stay away from the entire Land Rover lineup. Simply stay away from them. Which car did you think you should never purchase? Please let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you in our next video.